justice, economic life, truth, and social communication. Read CCC in a year. Summary of Week 46. The days 316th to 322nd. Paragraph 2426 to 2499. Economic activity and social justice. Day 316. CCC 2426 to 2436. Human work and economic life must serve the dignity of the person and the common good, not mere profit or power. Work and production are ordered to serve human persons and the community, expressing cooperation with God's creative plan. Economic justice requires moral order, fair wages, and social solidarity. What does the Church teach about work, economic activity, and social justice? Economic activity must serve persons, not dominate them. It is ordered to meet human needs and the good of all, not simply to increase wealth or power. Work is a duty that honors God's gifts and allows us to share in His creation. When united with Christ's example and suffering, our work becomes redemptive, sanctifying us and bringing Christ's Spirit into daily life. The value of labor stems from the worker. Work is for man, not man for work. Everyone has the right to economic initiative, using their gifts responsibly under just laws for the common good. Economic conflicts must be resolved through dialogue and fair negotiation between workers, employers, and authorities. The state's duty is to secure justice, protect rights, and promote honest productivity, while individuals and associations remain the primary agents in economic life. Business leaders must balance profit with human and ecological responsibility. Work opportunities must be open to all without discrimination, and society must assist citizens in finding employment. A just wage is the fruit of labor and must support a dignified human life. Unfair pay violates justice even if freely agreed upon. Strikes are morally legitimate when necessary to secure proportional benefits, but never when violent or unjust. Unemployment gravely harms human dignity and family stability. Society must work to prevent and remedy it. Justice and solidarity among nations. Day 317. CCC 2437 to 2442. Global justice and moral responsibility among nations are essential to peace, equality, and authentic human development. Inequality among nations calls for solidarity rooted in justice and charity. The wealthier nations have a grave duty to support poorer ones, ensuring fair trade, responsible aid, and reforms that promote the dignity of all peoples. How does the Church call nations to live justice and solidarity in the world? Economic inequality between nations creates a deep global divide, with some possessing vast means while others face debt and deprivation. The Church teaches that solidarity among nations is essential, especially to dismantle unjust systems that hinder the growth of poorer countries. Instead of exploitative trade, debt traps, and the arms race, nations must unite in moral and economic cooperation that serves the common good and human dignity. Wealthy nations bear a moral duty, of charity and justice, to assist those unable to develop due to poverty or historical injustice. Direct humanitarian aid is good, but long-term justice requires reforming global economic institutions to ensure fairness and sustainability, particularly for agricultural workers in developing nations. Human development requires awareness of God and self, increases material goods for human freedom, reduces poverty and exploitation, and strengthens respect for culture and the transcendent. The Church entrusts social and political transformation especially to the laity, who are called to shape society with gospel values, promoting peace, justice, and the common good through their active civic engagement. Love for the poor. Day 318. CCC 2443 to 2449. The Church's love for the poor is rooted in Christ and inseparable from justice, mercy, and the gospel itself. God identifies himself with the poor. Love for them is not optional but essential. It is a sign of Christ's presence and a test of authentic discipleship. How does the Church understand and live out love for the poor? God blesses those who help the poor and condemns indifference toward them. Christ recognizes his chosen ones by their love expressed in concrete service to the needy. The Church's love for the poor flows from the Beatitudes and from Jesus' own poverty. It extends to material, cultural, and spiritual needs. Attachment to riches and selfish use of wealth are incompatible with the gospel. Unjust hoarding or fraud against workers cries out to God for justice. The fathers of the Church taught that failing to share with the poor is theft. The goods of the earth belong to all, and charity begins with justice. The works of mercy, both corporal and spiritual, express this love, feeding the hungry, visiting the sick and imprisoned, teaching, consoling, and forgiving. Almsgiving is both charity and justice. Poverty and suffering, signs of fallen humanity, moved Christ to compassion. The Church shares his preferential love for the poor, serving them through ongoing works of mercy and justice. From Israel's ancient laws of compassion, the Jubilee, fair wages, and care for the destitute, to Jesus' call to see him in the poor, God commands generosity and solidarity with the needy. Living the Seventh Commandment. Day 319. CCC 2450 to 2463. All material goods must be used with justice, charity, and stewardship, respecting others' property, promoting the common good, protecting human dignity, and seeing Christ in the poor. The Seventh Commandment teaches responsible stewardship of all we possess, using goods justly, respecting property, avoiding exploitation, and serving the common good. Everything we have is entrusted for the benefit of all, calling us to uphold human dignity, protect creation, work with God's purpose, and see Christ in the poor. In brief, command against theft. The Seventh Commandment forbids stealing and warns that the greedy and dishonest cannot inherit God's kingdom. Justice and charity in possessions. God commands that we use material goods with justice and charity, serving both personal needs and the common good. Universal destination of goods. All creation is meant for the benefit of all humanity. Private property must serve this universal purpose. Prohibition of theft. Theft is unjustly taking another's goods against the owner's reasonable will and violates God's law. Duty of restitution. Every unjust taking requires reparation and restitution, as demanded by commutative justice. Condemnation of enslavement. Exploiting or trading human beings as property for profit or power is gravely immoral. Moral use of creation. Man's dominion over creation must respect moral limits and the welfare of future generations. Stewardship of animals. Animals are entrusted to human care. They may be used for legitimate needs but always with kindness and respect. Church and social justice. The Church intervenes in economic and social matters when human dignity or salvation is at stake, promoting the common good. Man at the center of economy. Human dignity requires that goods and social structures serve all people through justice and charity. Value of human work. Work shares in God's creative plan and, united to Christ, becomes a means of sanctification and redemption. Integral human development. True progress enhances the whole person, enabling each one to fulfill their divine vocation. Charity through almsgiving. Giving to the poor expresses fraternal love and fulfills justice before God. Seeing Christ in the poor reflect the face of Christ. Neglecting them is neglecting Christ himself. Living in the truth and bearing witness to it. Day 320. CCC 2464 to 2474. God, who is truth itself, calls his people to live in sincerity, justice, and fidelity. Christians must both live and proclaim this truth courageously. The 8th commandment forbids falsehood and misrepresentation. Truthfulness reflects God's nature, builds trust, and sustains human relationships. Every disciple of Christ is called to live honestly and bear witness, even unto martyrdom. What does it mean to live and bear witness to the truth? The 8th commandment forbids all lies, calling God's people to reflect his truth. Any act against truth rejects moral integrity and betrays fidelity to God. CCC 2464. God is the source of all truth, his word and law are true, and his people must live in integrity. In Christ, the full revelation of truth is made manifest. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Disciples must walk in his light, letting their yes mean yes and their no mean no. Man is naturally ordered toward truth and morally obliged to seek and live by it, especially in matters of faith. Truthfulness, uprightness in speech and deed, rejects hypocrisy, deception, and double-heartedness. Mutual confidence and honesty make social life possible. Justice requires discretion and sincerity in revealing truth. Living in the truth means conforming one's life to Christ, avoiding the darkness of lies and sin. Christ himself came to bear witness to the truth, and his followers must never be ashamed to testify to him. Every Christian, by word and example, is bound to witness to the gospel and reveal the new life of grace received in baptism and strengthened in confirmation. The supreme witness is martyrdom, testifying to the truth of faith even to death, in union with Christ crucified and risen. The Church honors her martyrs as the archives of truth written in letters of blood, celebrating their fidelity as the highest act of love and faith. Sins against truth and reputation. Day 321. CCC 2475 to 2487. Truth must be protected in word and action. Lies, slander, and deceit destroy justice, charity, and human trust. Every falsehood, whether by word, silence, or omission, betrays God, who is truth. Sins such as rash judgment, detraction, defamation, and lying offend both our neighbor and God. What are the main offenses against truth, and why are they sinful? Christ's followers, renewed in holiness, must reject all deceit, malice, and slander. A false statement publicly made is false witness, and under oath becomes perjury, both gravely unjust because they harm the innocent and corrupt justice. Respect for reputation forbids rash judgment, detraction, and calumny, sins that destroy another's good name. Christians must interpret others' words charitably and seek understanding rather than condemnation. Detraction and calumny offend human dignity, violating justice and charity. Flattery and adulation become sinful when they encourage evil or hypocrisy. Boasting or malicious irony also distort truth and charity. A lie is the deliberate intention to deceive. It is the work of the devil, the father of lies. Lying directly opposes the truth, corrupts communication, and damages trust. The gravity of a lie depends on its nature, intention, and harm caused. Grave lies wound justice and charity. By its nature, lying is always sinful, since speech is meant to communicate truth. Deliberate deception is an injustice against love. Lies destroy human relationships and social trust, spreading discord and division. Every sin against truth and justice requires reparation, whether moral or material, for the harm done to others' reputation or integrity. Respect for the truth and responsible communication. Day 322. CCC 2488 to 2499. Truth must always be guided by charity, discretion, and justice. Communication of truth requires prudence and moral responsibility. The eighth commandment calls for respect for truth not only in speech but also in silence. Truth must be shared with love, discernment, and respect for privacy, while the media must serve the common good and uphold moral integrity. How should truth and communication be guided by charity and responsibility? The right to communicate truth is not absolute, it must be governed by fraternal love and moral discernment. Charity and prudence determine whether truth should be revealed, especially when privacy, safety, or the common good are at stake. The seal of confession is sacred and inviolable. Professional secrets, political, medical, or legal, must be kept unless grave harm can only be prevented by disclosure. Respect for privacy forbids revealing personal information without proportionate reason. CCC 2492. The media must serve truth, justice, and human dignity, ensuring information is accurate, complete, and morally sound. Society shares the duty to form public opinion grounded in justice and solidarity. Users of media must practice moderation and vigilance to resist harmful influences. Journalists must report truthfully and charitably, avoiding defamation or sensationalism. Civil authorities should protect freedom of information while preventing misuse of media that harms morality or the common good. The Church condemns regimes that falsify truth or suppress free thought, as these violate human dignity and justice. Thank you.